as the mains paper is fast approaching, the most important thing for any aspirant who's writing 2026 mains is the art of answer writing. So I am Tauhar Rahman, the all India topper of essay as well as a topper of GS paper. I am going to teach you the art of essay writing as well as answer writing. In this video, we will specifically deal with answer writing alone, and in that also we will deal only with GS 1, 2 and 3 papers, which are sort of similar when it comes to answer writing. With respect to GS 4, that is ethics paper, we will be coming out with another detailed lecture on that. So let's get started with the most important thing for mains 2026, that is the art of answer writing. So first things first, if I ask you guys that what is the most important thing when it comes to mains paper or to answer writing, then what would you say? See, a lot of aspirants think that content is the most important thing, but I'm sorry to say that you all are wrong. Content is not the most important thing. I will also give you reasons for that later on in the video. But understand, the most important thing for your mains answer writing is to understand the question. Yes, it may sound silly to you right now, it may sound trivial to you right now, but understanding the question is the most important thing, my friends. That is because, see, if you don't understand the question, do you think you will get any marks whatsoever? Imagine that I'll give you a simple example. I ask you your age and you tell me your name very, very beautifully. No matter how beautifully you will tell me, will it matter at all? Absolutely not. You will get 0 marks over there because I had asked you your age and you started telling me your name. In the same manner, if the question is asking you one thing but you are explaining, writing, giving examples of completely different thing altogether, then no matter your knowledge, no matter how beautifully you have presented, you will not get any marks. Coming out of the mains hall, you will feel that you have solved all the questions, you have done so well, but you will not get that call for the personality test, commonly known as interview, which I had given. So I was able to get selected to the interview because of these answer writing skills, right? So please understand that understanding the question is the most important thing. That's the very first thing. Let's move on to the next most important thing. The next most important thing is to be able to address all the parts and dimensions of the questions. Yes, parts and dimensions, guys, are two different things. So you should be able to address all the parts and all the dimensions. Now, how are these parts and dimensions different? See, when it comes to parts, parts are very explicitly present in the question. For example, a question that we will be solving with respect to inflation. The question was of 2024, in which they asked, what are the reasons of persistent food inflation in India? Question mark. Then they went on to ask, comment on the effectiveness of addressing such kind of food inflation, full stop. So you can clearly see the first part ends with the question mark, and then from comment, the second part starts. So these are two different parts. You should address both the parts completely. If you don't, you will completely miss out on the marks that are dedicated to the part that you have missed. Now, what is the dimension over here? See, when it comes to dimension, dimension will not be explicitly mentioned in the question. You will have to identify the question, the dimension within the question. So you can clearly see in the first part, that is what are the reasons for persistent food inflation. There is only one dimension. You simply has to mention what all are the persistent reasons. But if you look at the second part closely, which is comment on the effectiveness of RBI's monetary policy committee to address such kind of food inflation, you will realize this comment part of the question have multiple dimensions, right? So you have to identify those dimensions and address those dimensions as well. If you are able to do it, only then you will be getting proper good marks in your answers. I hope that is clear. So the idea of this parts and dimension, I will make it more clear to you through the example that is there later in the video. Now let's move on to the third most important thing, that is giving adequate weightage to each part and each dimension. Again, if I give the example of the question that I just told you, the first part, which was what is the reason for persistent food inflation, and second part was comment on the effectiveness of monetary policy committee of RBI to address that kind of inflation. Now here the part what is basically going to have lesser weightage, whereas the second part will have more weightage. Reason being, the first part is straightforward, direct to the point, only one dimension, but the second part is sort of analytical in nature and have multiple dimensions in it, as a result of which the weightage of this part will be considerably more. So if this question was of 10 marks, so if this question which it was of 10 marks, so around 3 to 4 marks might would be for the first part, and around 6 to 7 marks would be for the second part. Now why this is important? This is important because when you will write the answer you have to write 10 marker question answer, you have to write in 150 words. So you will have 150 words, so you have to dedicate 50 to 60 words for uh, your first part, and 100 to 100 90 to 100 words for the second part. Why? Because the first part is smaller, direct, one dimension, but the second part is having multiple dimensions and is a more analytical one. So that becomes the third most important thing, right? Now the fourth most important thing is actually what people consider to be the first most important, and that fourth most important thing, guys, is the content. Yes, content comes at fourth rank. Why? The reason being, no matter how much content you know, if you are not able to write what is asked, you will not get any marks. But then also you will argue that, but sir, that still you need to have content. Of course, but any serious aspirant should have optimum amount of content. That's point number one. You have cleared prelims, so GS content would anyhow will be there with you. Optional, you have to do well because you are a serious aspirant. So I am assuming that you will be a serious aspirant, and especially you have cleared prelims now, so GS knowledge to an extent will always already be there, except for world history and ethics and all that. But you agree with me that a optimum amount of content will already exist. So this comes at the fourth point. Is that clear? And this content part, improving of the content part is very simple. Read, revise, remember, right? Apply logic to remember this, that, practice. So you will get this. The skill that you have to develop is with respect to the first 3 points that I have told you. Now, within the content, there are multiple things that you have to take care of. Let us understand them one by one. The very first thing with respect to the content is basically the core content or the core knowledge that you should have about the topic, which is absolutely clear. Second is the supporting documents, supporting evidence, supporting uh, schemes, supporting Supreme Court judgments, facts, figures, so on and so forth. So let's say facts, figures, right? You have Supreme Court judgments, you have schemes, you have committee recommendations, so on and so forth will be your supporting evidence. Why? Because if you just write your opinion without backing it, opinion is the lowest form of knowledge, so you have to back it up. Now I do understand that you cannot back all the points that you write, but at least some of the point needs backing up with respect to facts, figures, judgments, committees, etc. So that you have to do no matter what. Then comes your hierarchy of points. See, if you are writing advantage of something, disadvantage of something, challenges, this, that, you should write the most important point first and the least important later. So basically, most important point should come first. It's as simple as that. Imagine that you and I have written the same points, but I have written the most important point first, and you have written the very generic, the least important point first. Who will get more marks? Of course, I will get more marks because I have given importance precedence to the most important point first and not the generic one. That becomes important. The fourth thing over here are the diagrams. Yes, diagrams are important. See, in certain things, for example, your geography paper. In geography, if they are asking you to basically describe the process of formation of a particular landform, this, that, then you have to draw the diagram. It is required. It is a basic necessity. If they are asking you the formation process of Oxbow Lake, you have to draw a diagram. right? But it will also be good, prudent, and it give you more marks if you are able to draw diagram elsewhere as well, in society, social issue questions, in economy questions, in GS2, GS3, GS4 questions as well. Now, during the exam, it will not click for you to start and create a diagram there, as a result of which you should have pre-prepared diagrams ready with you, right? I hope that is already being ready with you. If not, you can just write a comment in the comment section, and I will ensure that we reach out to you and provide the pre-prepared diagrams as well, especially for paper like ethics. Yes, paper like ethics is a pre-prepared paper which we will discuss in the upcoming videos on this YouTube channel, UPSC with Tauhar, right? So what is the example of these diagrams? See, first thing, let me be very clear. Some people write advantages, draw a circle, and then write advantage 1, 2, 3, and 4. Guys, this is not a diagram. Can you write advantages like this? Absolutely, you can. There is no harm. There will be no negative or points deduction as marks deduction as such. But understand, this is not a diagram as such. Diagram is something which can speak more in less amount of words. That is what a diagram is. So, for example, this, and this. So this is economic viability, social acceptance, environmental sustainability. So if a project is economically viable, socially acceptable, environmentally acceptable, then that project becomes a sustainable project. This is sustainability, right? So this, I have just drawn it in rough, but you got the point that this is a diagram. In the same manner, you can have a diagram of integrity, the belief that you have, the words that you speak, and the actions that you take. If all of them are aligned in the right way, then it is integrity. So these are the kinds of diagram you should have ready with you. The moment you see question on integrity, you would be drawing this diagram after. If they're asking what is integrity, give one personal professional life example, you will mention what is integrity, inverse, draw this diagram, and then with the example. So it should be pre-prepared. In the same manner, the diagram should be pre-prepared for economy, for GS1, GS2 as well. And in geography and all, at certain places, in certain questions, the diagrams will be non-negotiable. I hope that is clear. Now, with respect to all the things that we have understood in this lecture, let us try to solve one question and understand how the answer can be framed for that. So this is the question in front of you. It is a 2024 question which is there. Now, let's try to make a framework for this. What the question says, we'll make the framework together. In the upcoming video, I will also talk about the different keywords that UPSC uses and how to tackle each and every keyword that is there. All right. So let's get started with this question in front of you. The question asks, what are the causes of persistent high food inflation in India? Question mark. So this is the first part, guys. Second, comment on the effectiveness of monetary policy of the RBI to control this type of inflation. This is the second part. So it's very clear. There are two parts. First part, is quite small. Second part, that it is a bit big, right? So that is why in the first part we will have around 50 words. In the second part we will have around 100 words. Now you have to write introduction. You will have to write conclusion, right? But since it's a 10 marker, what you can do is you can avoid introduction and conclusion, is what a lot of teachers, mentors, faculties will say. But what I say is, do one better. What you should do, you should write introduction in such a way that it itself forms the part of the main body, and you should write conclusion in a way that solution itself merges into conclusion. I will teach you how. Let's see it. So if you're talking about introduction, in the introduction you can talk about that the causes of persistent food inflation are both supply side as well as demand side. This is your simple and sweet inflation in introduction within 15 words. The moment you have written this introduction job is also done. Plus you have started attacking the question as well. And now you can simply list down the causes that are there using another 30 to 40 words. So within 50 to 55 words, your first part is done. Then in the second part, you have to comment on the effectiveness of monetary policy committee. Please understand, till very recently, UPSC used to ask effectiveness with respect to only those things wherein effectiveness is actually there. But now UPSC has also started asking effectiveness with respect to things or organizations which is actually not that effective in that particular thing, and that is the kind of question this is in front of you. Actually, the monetary policy committee of RBI is not much effective to address food inflation, right? It cannot comprehensively address food inflation because there are supply side issues as well. There is heat waves, climate extremities, weather issues, right? Production and all will go down. So what will RBI do in that as such? Remember, so understand this. So what you have to write is, you have to first showcase how to some extent it is effective, and then write a couple of points and then mention why it is not effective enough. Give the reason of climate change, extremities of weather, heat waves, which economic survey 2025 talked about. Based on that only this question is asked. This question is basically taken from economic survey of 2024 2024, basically economic survey 2024, not 2024-25, economic survey 24, which was released on 31st January 2024. That's why in mains later on in the year in 2024 this question was asked. In that they have properly given the reason with examples that the heat waves direct from 33 34 jump to 74 and then 73 in 2022 and 2023, as a result of which the areas which were affected by heat waves led to corresponding decrease in the production of vegetables, specifically in that also onions and tomatoes. So you can write those reasons. Don't write this entire story, but write the reason and write example onions and tomatoes, onions, tomatoes, and potatoes, right? So that is how it is basically. So you write why not effective enough, and then while concluding, don't just conclude, give the solution as to what can make this food inflation be comprehensively controlled, and then conclude it. So here you will use 80 words, 30 over here, 30 to 40 here, and 40 to 50 here, and then in 20 words or so you will conclude the answer. I hope that is clear. So see, knowledge you might be having, but you realize how important the framework is. We basically first understood what the question asked, then identified the parts that were there, right? After that, we identified the dimensions that were there. Then we gave proper weightages to all the parts and dimensions, right? And of course, at the end, we utilized our knowledge to write this answer. So guys, if you can write the answer in the manner that I have told you, I am quite confident that you all will get a call for the personality test of UPSC. So that's about it from my end in this lecture of the art of answer writing. But it's not over yet. In the coming videos, I am going to, and the video is going to come every day, at least for the next week, and after that every alternate day it is going to come till your mains examination. As far as aspirants for 2027, you can also learn answer writing right now itself so that it does not become too late for you. Second thing is, in the next video we will be discussing about the keywords, phrases that UPSC uses in their questions, right? We'll discuss that in detail, and subsequently ethics paper 4, and then we will take the PYQs. Then I will also take certain probable questions on the themes that can be asked in this upcoming mains. A lot of things we will be doing over here. So subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we go live or bring out a new video. You will be getting video every night at 8 p.m. That's about it. Thank you so much.